Today, I want to talk to you about a subject in personal finance which I have never discussed before. In my Tamil channel, I have given a lot of lectures to you on how you should save money, how you should spend money, and where you should invest. But I have never discussed this important subject in financial literacy. Most of the time, I talk about how much money you earn, how much you should save, and where you should save. But I have never compared if actually what is there in a financial statement with what you personally do on a day to day basis. Whenever you analyze a company, the most important thing we look is a balance sheet. So, the idea of looking at an annual report of a company and reading it from cover to cover, from back to the front if possible, so that you don't miss any important detail which is there at the hidden at the one of the back edges of the page. I would like you to say do the same thing in your life. What is a balance sheet? Most of the statements in a company are between two periods. A cash flow is from 1st April of this year to March 31st of next year. A profit and loss account is a profit and loss for a particular period from 1st April of this year to 31st March of next year. But the balance sheet is the only unique statement which gives you a photograph of the exact financial health of the company on that particular day. It's a snapshot of that company held on the last working day of the financial year. Normally in India, this is on March 31st. What does a balance sheet tell us? A balance sheet clearly tells us what is our money and what is owed to others. So basically, it lists out all the assets that a company owns and the receivables it has to receive from other people. At the same time, it lists out all the money that it has to be paid out to others. The shareholder himself is a debtor and also to other people if you have to whom you have to pay. The idea is the debtor and the creditor has to match and every debit has to match with every credit. Yeah, the balance sheet gives you an idea how much a company owes to others and it gives you an idea of a leverage ratio, basically how many times equity a company has levered. Over several years of investing, I have realized lesser the debt, the more the valuable the company is. Today, Apple, as I speak to you, has become a $3 trillion company. Apple has practically no debt, though it uses borrowings at times. It has more cash on its balance sheet than what it borrows. Most of the most valuable companies in the world are companies with zero debt. These companies are able to get away with zero debt because their stock is currency. If Elon Musk wants to raise money, he only has to issue stocks at a price which is slightly a discount to its normal price and he can buy it. This is why when Facebook buys a company, it pays some cash, but large payments are normally made by issuing new Facebook stock. All large companies, be it Apple or Microsoft or Facebook or Alphabet, can use their stock as currency at will to buy any company because their stock is as valued as any currency. But how do we find out whether a company is valuable or not is only looking at a balance sheet of a company. If this is the balance sheet of a company, then what is your balance sheet for a person? Before that, some of the most valuable companies in India which have zero debt are basically Tata Consulting Services, Infosys, Wipro. These companies have no debt and they just spew cash. One of the reasons why I urge you to buy ITC is a company with lot of reserves and it is a cash flow generating machine. And if the market does not value it today, it will value it one day or the else. Even if not nothing, you will generate cash. Now let's shift to personal finance. Your salary which you make every month and the total amount of money that comes to you from all sources, salary, interest, dividend, rent, and any second hustle if you have, is your profit for the year. The loss is the way you spend the money, and the surplus that is left for savings is transferred to another statement which is called your net worth statement. So, your balance sheet equals to your personal financial net worth. How do I calculate a net worth of a person? You have to put out all the totals of money that you have or any asset that can be converted to money in a short notice. So what could be the assets on my side is cash in the bank, what others have to give me, what gold I have, what silver I have, if I have any real estate which I own completely without any debt, and so on, and a car, a bike, etc., etc., etc. On the debt side, what I have to add is what are the money I owe to people. What are the money you owe money to your friends? You can owe money to your parents. You can owe money to your siblings. At times, extremely, you can even owe money to your better half. But also, the personal loan you have borrowed from a bank is basically a call against your future cash flow. So, your personal loan, your credit card debt, which is due on that day, money which you have spent and not paid, is also added into this. A vehicle loan, a bike loan or a car loan is a vehicle loan, which is also added to this. If you have a jewel loan against your gold, that is added to this. If you have a mortgage against a property, this is added to it. If you don't, what is mortgage? Mortgage is money that you have borrowed against a property which you already own, or some these days, a housing loan also refers to as a mortgage. You may value your house at a particular rate from which the mortgage has to be deducted. The problem in doing a net worth statement is we have a habit of overstating our value of our assets and understating the debt. Everybody is biased and goes through it. As a thumb rule, you cut your asset value by 20 to 25% and increase your debtor list by at least 15 to 20%. Only then you will get a true picture. But even with a value which is inflated, most of us have a negative net worth. That is basically you have already discounted your future cash flow. That means your borrowings is already committed. Suppose I have a salary of 80,000 rupees. I have to pay a personal loan of 10,000 rupees. I have to pay a jewel loan of 5,000 rupees. I have to pay a car loan of 15,000 rupees and a housing loan of 10,000. Out of my entire salary, if my salary is 50,000, 50,000 will go as EMI. If it is 80,000, then about 50,000 of it will go as EMI. Banks are normally very careful. They only calculate EMI coverage ratio. They will make sure your total EMI does not cross 60 to 70% of your cash flow. This is because you need basically money to survive. So they assume you will survive between 25 to 30% of your salary and the balance cash flow is available to pay loans. If you buy goods that you do not require today on EMI, I can assure you your net worth will be negative. A sign of a good wealthy person is a person whose net worth is extremely high. A net worth is total assets minus total liabilities. This is called a balance sheet in terms of a company net worth in your case. Thank you for watching. Be rich. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.
For hot financial news reviews and economical updates, watch Be Rich. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe our channel.